Aloha, and thank you for joining us. Go ahead and just set right in here. Just drop right in here to Stillpoint. I want to share a very simple process for scanning what's happening in your condition. We have an amazing program that's all around something we call Stillpoint Response, and then what we call the Yogi Scan. And I want to give you a very brief introduction into that today. The first part of it is what we call Yogi Response or Stillpoint Response. And the key to this is assessing very simply the effect that something has on your condition. I always tell people in our seminars, the outer phenomena are happening either which way. And I tell people, don't focus too much on changing the outer phenomena. Those things are happening. The yogi is not so interested in the outer phenomena. The key thing that we're interested in is how do we respond to the outer phenomena? And basically, people respond to outer phenomena in one of two ways. They either contract, in other words, the waves of your body, of your condition, the breathing, the pulse, the cranial sacral rhythm, all these different waves do one of two things. If something is stressful, animals coming up and what have you, then the waves typically start to go faster. Breathing goes faster, heart goes faster, everything starts to go like this, which is a good natural response because then you start to move, get out of the way, out of the situation. Well, in the same way, the other response is the waves start to unwind and go like this. They start to dissolve, they start to unwind and neutralize, and eventually they'll drop into still point. So from my perspective, it's so key to understand how the response mechanism works in terms of our interaction with outer phenomena. All still point responses is starting to assess the things in your life, what's going on, where you're going in your life, the things you're doing for work, the relationships you're having, the supplements, the things you do. If you start to understand how to use still point response, in other words, it's basically, in my life, I use it to assess and navigate everything going on in my life. I can't say enough. I don't use pendulum, I don't use kinesiology, I certainly don't use thinking, which is, to me, very coarse. New studies show thinking, actually, excessive thinking shuts down the pineal gland, it calcifies the pineal gland. So from my perspective, what I do use is response. It's very clear. If something comes into my experience and my field's going like this, I typically say, well, that's not the right thing for me. If something comes in and my field starts to go like this and drop in still point, I say, this is a good one. I do this. I do more of this. I like the energy of the universe, so I'd say this is good. So everyone drop in here for a moment. Just drop in still point. If you're new, take breath, stop at the top of the breath. If you've been here a while, just kind of go like this. Now, simply consider something. Consider something going on in your life right now. Maybe don't pick a big thing. Don't pick your relationship. This is about building trust with the process first. Pick something going on, a little decision you need to make, something going on, and just kind of bring it in. I call this bringing it into the screen. It's like your field is your screen. It's like your computer screen, sort of. It's a lot nicer, really. So you bring it in here and just consider that thing for a moment. Or if you're not sure, pull up an organ, pull up your liver. You can check in with your organs. You can check in with everything. So pull something up and just check in and see, how does your field respond? How does your condition of still point respond? Does it contract? Does it not do anything? Or does it unwind? The thing I considered, how do you tell you go into still point response? Well, first you take a little breath, a little sigh. The waves, basically the waves feel like there's a little more space from wave to wave. Which, by the way, everyone's very good at. It's very natural. This is what happens when you watch TV, right? You put it on one and you don't like, no, you put it on another one. Well, what happens? You relax. You smile. You put the remote down. Well, same thing here. We're starting to cultivate this mechanism of how the field responds to outer phenomena. If it contracts, well, maybe that's not so good. If it unwinds, well, gee, that's good. Maybe we do more of that. In my life, I use still point response in every area of my life to navigate the choices that I make here on planet Earth.